As baffling as this may sound to you, there actually exist more reasons than one would think to shy away from one of Sant'Agata Bolognese's vigor machines. Surprising, right? In this video we are going to take 5 of those reasons and discuss them in detail, so you might want to remain here, grab a chair, sit tight and enjoy the unveiling ceremony. But first, if you'll welcome more updates on your favorite car brand or the auto world in general, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because we constantly bring you more of the most current information about modern-day cars. Let's get right into it. 1. Lamborghinis are expensive. That one is pretty obvious. You can't have a lifelong dream to purchase a machine and expect it to go for cheap. Seriously. Presently, the cheapest new Lamborghini out there is the Urus, which begins its price at $200,000. However, a fully laden Urus can cost you as much as $250,000, which is pretty pricey if you ask me. But of course, if the idea of possessing a Lambo-badged SUV isn't really pleasing to you, then the next less cash-absorbing option you have is the Huracan RWD, whose price starts from around $203,000. Now, no need to get overly excited at that slight difference in price, because a heavily spec'd version can leave your wallet with $280,000 less cash. Make that twice of the price of a real-wheel drive Huracan and you will be able to get yourself an Aventador S, which gives out about $417,000 as its price. At this point, a little more of you having your way with the configurator could see you releasing a final $100,000, making it roughly $500,000 to purchase a brand new Lamborghini Aventador. Used Lamborghinis too do give out the 6-figure price tag, unless they are the Miura, Diablo, or the Countach, which, in that case you'll probably be looking at prices between the alarming range of $300,000 to $1.5 million, considering the model. And if we are to add gasoline and oil change prices, tire replacement, along with the general maintenance cost which can vary depending on the model, then you'll be looking at a car whose well-being will probably leave your pockets running dry every single time. So if you think you can handle that, well, go ahead and get one. But if you're someone looking for a reasonable way to get a classy car and still stick to your budget, then you might want to avoid buying this car. Audi and Lexus make really good cars with similar amenities but with a less expensive price tag. You may probably want to check those out instead. 2. Lamborghinis make it easier to break the law. No one, absolutely no one purchases a Lamborghini to drive it slowly. And even if you did originally intend to, just a light contact with the gas pedal is enough to send you roaring off at 35 miles per hour, due to the car's extremely powerful engine. This is a great way to attract the attention of others, especially the cops. But, if you've made up your mind to buy this car already, that's a good thing, it means you're rich. And that's a necessity if you're going to be spending a lot of money on tickets. Also, the control of a Lamborghini isn't really what most of us would recognize as driving, it is an entirely different experience. So, if you're a rookie driver, you might want to consider picking another car that is less forceful and liberal. Because if not careful, you might get carried away with the feeling of invincibility, which is actually very easy to do, and forget entirely you're still governed by the law of physics, and still under the inspection of the authorities. 3. Lamborghinis are not comfortable nor practical. Lambos are not your ideal dream car with comforting seat textures, in fact, they are the exact opposite. Their seats are made of carbon fiber, a material famous for its less-than-friendly cushioning ability. They do not coddle you, instead, the fiber wings, close to where the hip usually rests, might bruise you. Thus, this car is hardly an option for a road trip or long-distance journeys. Visibility is pretty bad inside the Lambo, making driving through narrow spaces hard, and even harder to park properly in parking lots. They are loud, rigid and confined, making exit and entry problematic. Lamborghinis are also lacking in practicality. Nothing bigger than a duffel bag, with 3 to 4 days' worth of clothes fits in the front, with the exception of the Urus whose front-engine, SUV coupe design permits the insertion of a suitable trunk. Apart from that, a Lambo is basically useless in front of a speed bump, owing to its excessively low-slung feature, unless of course you spec the car with a front suspension lift feature, which is just an easier way to increase your spending. If you are someone looking for a spotty car with comfortable features, coupled with magnificent practical ability, then the Lamborghini isn't the right car for you. 4. Problems of insurance. Age, duration of ownership of a driver's license, previous accidents, as well as the nature of the car to be insured, are all primary vectors to consider when insuring a supercar like Lamborghini. On its own, the Lamborghini Aventador SVR would require about $700 to $800 per month for insurance alone. Also, the consideration of just how many car incidents and accidents the car has actually been involved in, and how often it is being driven, is done by insurance companies, and the subsequent fees may differ from owner to owner. Notwithstanding, the insurance cost of the Lambo would equal or surpass that of a typical United States mortgage house. 5. Lamborghinis are not reliable. So we've gotten to the last reason you probably shouldn't get a Lamborghini, and if you've stuck with us right up until now, you can bet it's going to be worth it. Back to the reasons. Well, not necessarily does this mean frequent breakdown or something like that, although there have been reports of such occasionally, on transmission-related issues. But there have actually been some other issues of which the Lambo can also be held accountable for. One of such is on the brake fluid of the Huracan, which can heat rapidly to attain its boiling point, if the car is being taken out on track on a hot day. This can cause the brake pad to be soppy and unable to slow down or stop entirely. And that is one thing no one wants to have happen to him or her. Believe me, you don't want that to happen to you, especially when fast speeding. And what's more, the very nature of supercars tend to affect its mechanisms in ways not common to what we're familiar with in econoboxes. Due to the enormous engines present in the Huracan and Aventador, the Huracan having a naturally aspirated 5.2 liters V10 engine and the Aventador with a corresponding naturally aspirated 6.5 liters V12 engine, vast volumes of power and torque, along with a huge amount of heat, which in turn affect other drivetrain mechanisms in a different way than those present in 1.2-liter turbocharged engines, seen in standard Super-, are generated. As a result, the brake pads are most likely to guzzle faster, especially if the car is hewn a number of times frequently. Thus, the simple conclusion being that high-performance vehicles will always require the accompaniment of high-maintenance affairs. Congratulations! You made it to the end. If you found this information useful, please do well to click the subscribe button as well as the thumbs up reaction. Also, let us know what you've made up your mind to do in the comment section.